Hi there everybody, this is Kevin. Wanted to do a video on trees that you might be having growing in your yard or any kind of a plant that is doing really well. It's growing in a place that you didn't want it to grow. It just kind of grew on its own. So I had a couple of those trees growing right here, right off of my patio. And this is a Yupon holly bush, and I get a lot of smaller birds like sparrows and finches that love to kind of come into this tree, and there's berries on this bush, and they like to eat the berries. And not only that, they escape from larger predator birds like falcons and hawks that go after them, so they stay out of sight and just nest in this bush. So what happens is those birds eat berries from other bushes and trees around the area, and then they have to do their business, and those seeds from those trees, from those berries, are dropped into the soil and they propagate on their own. So I had two of those. I had a mulberry tree and what turns out to be a Chinese pistachio tree, and I received some help in IDing those from another Facebook group that I belong to, and so I utilized their expertise and they were able to ID them. And so with the help of my son today, I was able to get those trees dug up, and I have those over here sitting in a bucket of water, so I'll show you. Here's the trees. They've been sitting in this water for a couple hours now, so those roots are staying really hydrated. But kind of wanted to show you the trees. This is a Chinese pistachio, and this one here is much taller, is the mulberry tree. And for those of you who know what a mulberry is, they produce fruit. And the fruit is very similar to like a blackberry, and they're very delicious. They're actually bigger in size, and I'm hoping that maybe I'll get some fruit off of this. And this has probably been grown for a couple of years now, and it's already, I'm 6 foot, so it's already 8.5 feet tall. I had bought one online, and I have that right over there. It is only about 3 feet tall, 3 or 4 feet tall. So what I'm planning on doing is, from my understanding, sometimes these will fruit and sometimes they won't. So I'm just going to transplant this into a pot, and then maybe they'll cross-pollinate, or I've read that these are also like self-pollinating. So we'll see what happens with this. So I'm going to go ahead and transplant these two trees into larger containers, and we'll just let them grow and see what happens. And sometimes you just get lucky and you get something growing on your property and you don't know what it is. Hesitate in cutting them down until you find out what they are, because you might have just received a nice gift. So this is a fruit tree. So I'm going to go ahead and transplant both of these, and I've got some soil ready to go. So we have a pot right here, and you can see it's got some roots coming off of it. I cut it at a 45 on the bottom, and then we've got some of these smaller roots coming off of it. So we're going to go ahead and just plant this. We'll just go down maybe a foot or so. And I've got some tree soil here. It's for trees and shrubs that we purchased at Home Depot. We'll just go ahead, and this is nice, light and airy soil. We'll get some good drainage. And I'll probably end up putting a stake to hold this tree up. But for now, you just pack it in nice and tight. And the soil's nice and moist right now, plus it has been sitting in the bucket, so I'll go ahead and water this later on this evening. But there's our Chinese pistachio. And then we'll go ahead and take this mulberry tree. As you can see, it's got lots of roots on it, so that's good. This should transplant nicely. So we'll just come back here and do this one. So I've got a bucket here with the same type of soil. So we'll just go ahead and dig a nice deep hole. And we'll put this down as far as we can, being that this is a larger tree. And then we'll just kind of fill it in. And there you have it. It's kind of leaning to one side, so I will definitely put a stake in there to hold this tree up. But just to give you an idea how tall it is, I'm 6 feet tall, so you can see it's probably around 9 feet tall. And like I said, this thing has just been growing inside my bush over there for the last year or two, and I just haven't bothered to cut it down. And I planned to do that until I just decided to take a picture of the leaves and get some help with some gardeners, and they were able to ID it as a mulberry tree. So this is going to be a nice fruit tree that's going to complement the rest of my orchard here, and I was really excited to hear that. So hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Hope you all have a great day. Take care, and we'll see you next time.